Well, hello there and welcome to This Entrepreneurial Life. This is a video blog about how I run my businesses. Hello, my name is Erlen Bucket. I am the best-selling author of a book called Never Work Again and 90 Days to Profit. I'm still working on getting that right. And I am wearing my favorite car here, 911, Porsche 911. Love those, they're beauties. Imagine if I owned Porsche. I have a Porsche. But imagine if I owned the company, that would be amazing. Anyway, today it's all about bootstrapping your business. So basically, I started out, I had $10,000. I've turned that into a profitable business 3 times over. I have 3 companies, 75 employees, and I wrote a book about how to delegate and outsource all my work in the book Never Work Again. Now I'm kind of back to doing a lot of business again, and I really love it. I do this video blog to help you, the entrepreneur or the wantrepreneur, to get to sort of the $1 million mark in revenue. I think that all things get better and easier once you cross the $1 million revenue mark. And then you can buy yourself a Porsche or 4. So basically, I'm here in Oslo, and today it's all about bootstrapping. So I'm going to show you my used iMac. I bought a used iMac the other day, and it was actually quite painful. It was painful because I got about less than half price I paid for it. It was bought in 2015. This year is 2017. But I ended up sort of spending another 10 hours fixing it. So next time, I will buy a new one. So that's a little something to think about when it comes to your business. You can either invest your time or your money, and if you're bootstrapping, you're likely to invest your time because you don't have the money. So then the question becomes, how do you best invest your time? Now, in my case, buying a used iMac was not profitable. I should have just gone out and bought a brand new one, fully spec'd, like I always do when I buy a Mac. But I thought, you know what? I'm feeling scrappy. I'm going to try to save a little bit of money. Now, one of my business partners, he's quite scrappy when it comes to other things like accounting. I'm not scrappy when it comes to accounting because I believe having an accountant that does a really 100% job is really important. So bootstrapping is how most entrepreneurs get started. It teaches you to value money. It teaches you to be creative about money and how to turn $1 into 3. So I basically call that the alchemy of entrepreneurship. Now, entrepreneurship is all about being able to say, okay, I have this. How can I make this into something that people will pay 3 or 4 times more for? How can I add value to something so that it becomes more valuable for the people buying it? So how do you do that? Okay, well, first of all, it is about the magic of thinking big. Now, this sort of contradicts a lot of my other video blogs, but you need to be able to see the big picture. You need to be able to dream and know what you want. So you need to be able to be up here and really think about what you want and see it. But then you need to bring it back to reality and say, okay, what is the one thing I can do today that will bring me closer to making that happen? So I actually used to have this microphone like that, and then a lot of people complained that it kind of looked like my second head. I'm not sure what they mean. I have no idea what they're on about. So now I'm actually putting it down, and I'm getting the air to like flow over the microphone like that. Smooth like a baby's buttocks. Let's get back to the topic of bootstrapping your business. So I bootstrapped. I started out in my parents' basement to save money. I saved money on everything that I could. I even got free labor from a high school. I had a free guy from the government doing sales for me. And instead of buying 360 photography machines, I built them myself. It took me a little bit longer, but the point is, you need to know where you want to go, and then you need to say, okay, what can I do? That is the really important question that you need to be asking yourself as an entrepreneur on a daily basis is, what can I do? Because that's all about bootstrapping. Bootstrapping is about saying, okay, what can we do what we have? Elon Musk in his rockets, they have, off-the-shelf screws instead of custom making them like the other space programs were doing. So Elon Musk is actually a really good expert in terms of bootstrapping every single business that he has done, because business is all about having your profits high and your costs low, so you're always looking to cut costs. And that's what bootstrapping your business teaches you. It teaches you how to constantly cut costs so that you don't have to waste money. So if you look at governments and bigger companies, they're incredibly wasteful. Why? Because a lot of people working in them have never been broke and have never been able to do the alchemy of businesses, which is turning $1 into 10 or 3 or whatever, but multiplying what you have, making it more valuable. That's also the big benefit of having a startup, is that versus a corporation, your one benefit is really like being able to do things more efficiently, faster, and in a more dynamic way, which outcompetes the big players after a while. But then eventually that same business grows into a big corporation, and then it becomes incredibly wasteful. So bootstrapping. So wherever you are in your business, maybe you don't have a business, you want to start one. That's why in my book I have no money down business blueprints, right? So let's say you're promoting a product. Why not make a YouTube live? Why not talk about your product on YouTube? Why not publish things there? It's free. When I do this video, it's free to create. Well, it's not free. It's my time, but it's free to create. It's free to publish. And people watch it, buy my book, sign up for my newsletter, and then I sell them a course. Right? Not that I'm selling courses at the moment, but I'm planning to do that in the future. I used to do that, but I stopped. So bootstrapping is an incredibly valuable lesson for entrepreneurs, and it's sort of part of the entrepreneurial life, to try to get a deal, try to get things cheaper. One thing that I always do and still do, and I typically, like 50% of the time, I get 10% discount on everything I buy. I'm always looking for a deal. I'm always asking for a deal. And why is that? It's because I was broke. I started a business with no money. I had to figure out how to make the most out of little money, and that's not something I'm going to stop doing. If you look at Ivar Kamprad, the founder of IKEA, one of the biggest companies in the world, he still drives an old car. Why does he drive an old car? Well, because he's bootstrapping. He's still bootstrapping. All really, really good entrepreneurs are constantly bootstrapping. They look for a deal. But you shouldn't bootstrap everything. Some things I just buy. Sometimes I'm wasteful, but I'm wasteful with an allocated sum of money that I'm meant to be wasteful with. But the rest of my money is always calculated. It's always invested in things that will give a return. That's how I work. That's why the rich get richer and the poor get poorer, because we think differently. So bootstrapping, wherever you are in your business, it is valuable because you learn how to make the most out of what you have. And you need to ask yourself, what can you do? And when you ask yourself what you can do, that's when life changes. So for instance, yesterday when I went to the gym, it was closing at 7, but I was there at 6:40, which meant, so when I entered, the woman said, "Oh, you're a bit late, we're closing in 20 minutes. And I said, well, listen, I'm going to get a lot of work done in 20 minutes. So instead of going home and saying, oh, I can't do my 1-hour routine, which I had planned, I actually did the 20 minutes, and I did it more efficiently than I usually do, and it worked out really well. So it's always what you can do. Bootstrapping is amazing. You should always be bootstrapping. It is the magic of business. It is the fun of it. It is the game. Get in the game. I think that's EA Games. EA Games. Get in the game. I don't play games anymore. Maybe I should. I would have to buy a used PlayStation, not a new one though, so I can spend 10 hours fixing it. What more do I have to say about bootstrapping? It's the fun part of business. It's the sexy part. It's not the sexy part, but it's the magic of it. And that's kind of the questions we ask ourselves when we are building a business. Is like, how can you turn this? How can you do this more efficient? How can you do this better? How can you cut your cost and maximize your profit? And it's fun. But I think also when it comes to bootstrapping, don't bootstrap your relationship. Don't bootstrap your family. To a certain extent, it's sometimes, but there should always be times where you actually spend lavishly as well. So on that note, I'm going to encourage you to watch my Hardcore MBA episodes where I interview Navy SEALs, billionaires, and real estate investors, etc. I've done more than 250 interviews. You can also check out other videos that I've made on my daily vlog. And you can read my book, Never Work Again. Thank you for watching, and bye-bye.